Live from Charlotte, this is WBTV News on your side.
Coming up next.
It happened, I believe, because the good people didn't speak up. They were quiet.
He grew up a Jewish boy in Nazi Germany. He later fought for the Americans to help win the war. Still to come, one dream
America.
this local Holocaust survivor still wants to achieve.
So each butterfly.
Welcome back. Irving Bienstock is on his way tonight to live out a dream. He's earned it. He's 93 years old, a veteran, and a Holocaust survivor. We met him at his home last week, and while we were there, he was awarded this, the Friends of the Israel Defense Forces Medal of Heroism. Irving was able to escape Nazi Germany in 1939. Just over a year later, he arrived in the United States. And in 1945, he went back to Europe as a member of the U.S. Army. But the one thing he still wanted to do was travel back to Israel and visit an active Israeli military base. Thanks to a small group here in Charlotte and the Friends of the Israel Defense Forces, it's going to happen this week. Why does he want to do it? Well, Irving says seeing a Jew in uniform serving for the Jewish state is a victory. Something that didn't seem possible when, as a 12-year-old boy, his mom put him on a train, all alone, in a desperate attempt to escape the death camps.
Just this morning, you spent time with kids.
Yes, I did.
Why is that still important?
It's important because they should know what indifference can do. It happened in Germany, and it can happen here. I believe it can happen here. If we don't pay attention, if we keep quiet. Germany was a very civilized country. Germany was a very advanced country in all facets of life. The people were very, very nice, and yet this terrible thing happened there, and it happened, I believe, because the good people didn't speak up. They were quiet.
We've seen it, what, in Pittsburgh and some other places?
Los Angeles,
Yep.
New York, couple of days, and
It's out of the news again.
no news again.
Right, right.
Not just the news again. Nobody talks about it.
The kids that you talk to, they can read these things in books, but to actually hear the oral history of you being able to tell the story.
Yes, that's why I think it's so important.
Yeah.
Because hopefully they will learn something from that, and they will go out and be different.
Growing up as a boy in Germany, what was that like?
Very difficult, because when Hitler came to power, I was 6.5 years old. Of course, we had heard, Hitler had been talking for years and all the things that he was going to do. And one of them was, he made no bones about it, that if he got elected, he was going to get rid of the Jews in Germany. So when he was elected in April of 1933, we were terribly scared immediately.
To see that as a little boy,
So
what was that like?
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful. My father, my uncles, my cousin, they stayed home for the number of days.
Do you remember your mom and dad talking, about
Yes,
this in the house and what you could do about it? What were they saying?
They were talking about how scared they were and how they get out, but no country in the world will let us in. My father, in 1933, when Hitler came to power, immediately realized that we had to get out. So he went to the American consulate in Stuttgart and registered for a quota number. They only let in a small amount of people each year.
Right.
So it took 6 years before he was able to go.
At that moment, did you think, I may never see them again?
I always had hope that someday we would. I never gave up hope.
When you saw them again, what was that like?
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Obviously, as it turns out, you're one of the fortunate ones.
I'm one of the very, very few. I asked the question, why me? There were so many good people that perished in the Holocaust, and why me? Why my grandmother perished? She never heard a fly.
How many family did you lose?
How many family members?
Yeah.
Oh, a lot. Parents that I grew up with, my grandmother, uncles, aunts, cousins. My youngest cousin was 3 years old. They took her away.
It was just separating, ripping people from their parents, from their neighborhoods. Do people fully understand that today, of the horror of all of this?
I hope so. I'm not sure. Maybe just numbers to them, but those were my family.
When you came here, though, then you decided to serve. After a few years, right? You joined the Army.
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Well, first of all, I think they probably would have drafted me anyway. But even before that, there's something I wanted to do.
What was your job?
I was an infantryman.
Did you get on the ground in Italy and fight?
I got on the ground. I didn't get to fight because I got there on April the 7th, April the 4th, 1945. And Germans surrendered on May the 7th.
The war is over.
So,
What was the emotion at that moment?
oh, it was wonderful.
Where do you find peace? Do you find forgiveness? Those kinds of things. Can you find that?
I can't find forgiveness for those people.
Thank you for your time and everything you've done for
Thank
the
you.
service to the country, our country too.
An amazing story, and again, he is in Israel tonight to live out that dream.